If you or someone on your team has been asking the question, what does TaxDome actually do? Then this video is going to be for. My name is Katie. I am the co-founder and partner of Cabot Main, and we work with accounting firms to implement tech stacks and workflows that are going to work for the unique needs of your business. So this video today is going to be for new users of TaxDome or existing firms that their teams are kind of getting up to speed on what TaxDome offers. So what we're going to go through today are what those core features are that every department needs to know before you implement TaxDome. So we're going to dive into a handful of different areas, features, and we're going to talk about how that can help you and your firm. So I want you to be thinking about what are the unique needs of your firm, what are the systems that you're currently using, and then you can start to get an idea of what TaxDome might be able to replace in your firm. It's not going to be an A to Z of every single thing you need, but there are a lot of features that definitely can replace some of the other pieces of your tech stack. And I want you to be thinking about what those are, what it can replace, and how you might be able to use TaxDome in a way that maybe you weren't originally thinking as well. If you're not familiar with TaxDome, you can take a look at some of our other videos where we introduce really what it is and just how you can use it. Again, we're going to be going through just some of those core features today. And if you do have any questions, make sure that you comment and let us know, and we will definitely get back to you. And we might even send you into one of our other videos that we've recorded that might be useful as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in with the very first feature that we think is really helpful for pretty much departments and teams of all sizes, no matter what you are doing, and that is the client portal. The client portal is how you can interact directly with your client in a secure way. So the client portal really is that gateway to working with your client in a seamless way, in a secure way. And it's a way for you to interact directly with them in a way where you can communicate, you can exchange documents, you can have signatures take place in there, you can have the clients pay invoices, sign engagement letters, all of the things that you really need for your clients to do, especially the things that are secure. They can do all of that through the client portal. And it's something where you have a view on your side, they're going to have the view on their side. And again, it's going to allow them to do a lot of those actions. It's also going to replace a lot of things that you might currently be using, or it can be used in conjunction with those. For example, long email chains can be replaced with the messages inside the client portal. You can replace your DocuSign with the ability to e-sign inside the portal. You can replace Dropbox with the ability to use the document, requests, and storage inside of there. You also can allow the clients to complete things like their organizers, questionnaires, answer questions. They can complete the organizers and forms inside of their client portal, and then that's all visible to you on your side. Another feature that we love that I kind of already touched on is that document management. So not only can you request and collect the documents, you also can organize them on your side. This is especially helpful if you do connect it with the Z Drive that allows you just to move all the files around much like you would in your drive right now. It also allows you to set things like reminders that are going to help you eliminate that constant chasing of clients and asking for things, because you really can set those automatic reminders for them. And we'll talk about that in a few of these different areas as well. Another feature that we think is really that bread and butter of TaxDome are the abilities to create your pipelines. Your pipelines are your workflows or your work processes. So this is how work moves through your firm. So for example, you might have a workflow for your client intake. This is where you're bringing in your clients, they are signing their engagement letters, maybe they're paying a deposit if they need to do that. They are submitting any documents that you might need, answering any questions, and you're kind of collecting that in a really seamless and automated way. Another pipeline you might have would be a traditional tax return pipeline, where you are going through everything from engagement letters and organizers to preparing and reviewing the return, completing the tax return delivery, including the invoice, and wrapping up that return for your clients. And that's all in one pipeline or one workflow. On your end, it really does allow you to automate a good chunk of the process, but really to standardize it. So that way across your firm, whether it's your 1040s, 1065s, 1120s, you really can standardize that process and have the same stages, tasks, assigning those tasks out to specific individuals or roles, and provide status updates automatically to your clients as well. This really is one of those core things that you need inside of your firm to standardize that process across all of your employees and make it really clear where all of your clients are at in the process. So I gave you two examples of some standard workflows, but when you're thinking about the different departments in your firm, you really can create these processes for any type of work that you are doing. And it can just be something that's internal. So it could be something that you are working back and forth with your clients on. But it's really anything that you want to capture as far as that A to Z process and possibly automate or even just track where you're at with all of that work. Another feature that we wanted to call out was the ability to send automated messages and emails. So whether this means you are scheduling out certain emails or you are bulk sending emails or messages out to a subset of clients. So for example, maybe you just want to send an email out to your 1040 clients. You could do that. You also can automate these messages and emails inside your pipeline. So for example, if you wanted to send out an email when you're kicking off your tax season and asking for organizers or engagement letters, you can automate that email as part of the process. So in order to do that, you're creating things like templates, triggers, and schedules all inside of TaxDome. So these are things that you're probably doing right now manually, and you actually can transition that to be more automated and also just plan it ahead. And I think that really frees up a lot of that space in your brain for all those manual things that you're doing, because we know over time, the manual work that you're doing does add up. This really takes that off of your plate. Another feature that we wanted to call out was e-signatures and organizers. We did talk about this a little bit earlier, but getting those signatures, gathering that client information without chasing the clients is huge. And you are able, like I mentioned earlier, to set reminders on those e-signature requests, on those organizer requests, in an automated way. So you can set the number of reminders and the frequency of which you send those, which really makes it easier for you to not have to do the chasing. They're going to get automated reminders until they complete it, and then those reminders will turn off. This can replace things like those back and forth emails, those phone calls, and the organizers really can replace those intake forms or document collection forms that you might be completing right now, and it does it in an automated way that makes it really easy for you to send them out in bulk. You can customize by client where you need to, and you can really streamline that whole intake collection of information process. You also can request certain documents through those organizers and really just streamline that process for you and your team. Those are not all of the features inside of TaxDome, but I think those are the ones that when you're considering how you want to utilize TaxDome in your firm, whether you're just doing tax, whether you're doing tax planning or bookkeeping, as you're onboarding clients, whatever the different services that you offer are, there are absolutely ways that you can use TaxDome to streamline different components of it. Maybe it's just that you're using the client portal and the document management or the engagement letters, or maybe you do want to build out that process or those processes inside of your pipelines. You can use all of the features, you can use some of them, and it really can be customized to exactly what your firm needs, how you operate today, although we do want to think about how we can improve the way we operate as we move forward. So some of those things you might be doing manual today, think about how you might be able to automate those inside of TaxDome for your firm. And that's going to free up not just your time, but your team's time. And it's going to make for a better client experience overall, because your clients aren't needing to constantly wait for things, and they are getting what they need as well, such as updates, status updates, requests for information. All that's flowing to them more quickly and more seamlessly and consistently across clients. So it truly does make for a better client experience overall when you do begin to incorporate some of these different features into your firm too. So again, we talked about the client portal. We talked about document management and really using TaxDome to not just collect, but also to keep organized in those client documents. You also can share those documents back with clients as well. We talked about the use of creating your workflows inside of the pipelines and being able to automate a lot of that process and standardize it across your firm. We talked about setting those automated messages and emails, especially if you do have secure information that you want to send to your clients. Those messages are a secure way to do that inside the client portal. We talked about the e-signatures and organizers and how you can gather that information without constantly needing to chase by using the e-signature, or by using the reminders. And the e-signatures allow you to also get rid of some of the other systems that you might be using to collect that as well. And again, in a secure way. that is, again, just a couple of the core features that we think you might be able to use in your firm. And if you want help building out any of these into a real system for your firm, that's where we come in to help. You can get help in two different ways. We offer a membership in the Future Proof Accountant, and this is a community where we will give you the templates, the training, the tools to build this out on your own. However, if you do want additional help from managing the project to getting this implemented to team training, we do offer more of that customized one-on-one support as well. And you can find out more about that at cabotandmain.com. So again, if you have any questions, please let us know. Otherwise, you can head over to cabotmain.com, learn about the membership, learn about our one-on-one support, and we would love to have you in either of those if you do need additional